Alright, so let's take a look at this thing. Rocky Mountain Instinct Alloy 50 BC edition. We got the DPX2 performance at the back, so no independent low speed compression adjustment there, which is fine, doesn't bother me. We got three position lockout, so open, trail and full lockout. That's cool. We've got Fox 36 performance, which is just the grip damper. Now I've had a little bit of a bounce around and I've found that there's kind of the sweet spot for the damper so far. So it's like, I think it's 4 or 5 clicks in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clicks in. So between 5 and 6 clicks feels pretty good on that damper. They're not real noticeable clicks, but the clicks are there. So if you've got this damper and this fork, be mindful that just because it's got open and firm written on it, there is a good amount of individual adjustment there, so that's cool. It's got one spacer in the fork. I've got them up to 90 psi. Got the shock at 215. Not sure what the sag of the shock at the moment, but it feels really good. Been bouncing around the street. It feels killer. It feels really, really supple. I've been doing the gutter slams, like pedaling full pace at the gutter and then just kind of letting the bike take the hit. Just trying to get it straight. That's cool. Yeah, just letting the bike take that hit, and it feels really good. It feels really supple. The forks feel good. I'm not going to bother opening that, dropping the lowers and taking that spring out to service it, because I think they've done a good job. It feels nice. It feels supple, and it feels characteristically what I'd expect at the PSI that I'm running with the tokens that I'm running. So we're happy with that. It comes with a dual compound front tyre, so I've taken that off, and what I'm doing with these demo bikes now is if they don't have a nice front tyre, a grippy front tyre, I'm putting one on straight away, because it'll ruin the whole experience of the ride. If there's not a grippy tyre, I can't ride it how I'd like to ride it in order to find the characteristics of the bike and be able to criticise it properly and praise it for its strengths properly. So 3C Max Terra DHF in the Exo Plus at the front, Aggressor Exo TR at the back, so hopefully we don't cut that. I've had some good experience with the Aggressor. Recently I just cut a double down Aggressor, but outside of that they've been pretty good, and I love, like, strength wise, and I love the characteristics of the Aggressor. Wicked back tyre, 175 cranks, not into that. Definitely need to be 165s, maybe 170s, being that this is a large. Doesn't feel like a big large, it feels like a perfect size bike for me. Almost feels a little bit short if anything, but it's not. I believe it's 460. I'll talk a bit more about the Geo in the full review. WTB Volt seat, saddle. Feels really comfy. Feels really, really comfy. So it's probably one of the best seats I've sat on, I think. I've tried the Volt before, but I think it was a smaller one, and it didn't feel right. It wasn't the best. It was nice, but it wasn't the best. This thing feels really nice, so happy with that. Race face dropper post 150, or it kind of is more like a 145. I measured it before. We got the Guide RE brakes, pretty standard like the old Guide Rs and Guide RS, I guess. 200mm rotor at the front, 180 at the back. That might actually be a 200 at the back, you know what? Let's have a closer look. Where are you? 200. There you go. So 200 rotor, front and rear. That's cool. Obviously alloy, so feels a little bit flexy, but not bad. You got that race face AR30. They're offset wheels, so the spokes don't go up in the center of the wheel. Like when I swap the tire over, you can see the spokes are all kind of right of the center, so the opposite side to the braking force, which, you know, whether there's merit to that or not, I'm not sure. Got this little spirit guide. This is cool. So chain guide, it does come back a little bit, so this back side of it may rub when you're in the top gear climbing up stuff. I'm not too sure yet, I'll have to suss it out, but otherwise it's good. It's a nice secure setup, sits nice and low. Yeah, I think this thing's cool. 780 bars, it's ready to party. These grips are pretty, to be honest, they're pretty rubbish. They're fairly hard compound, and as soon as your hands get ever so slightly sweaty, they're just real slippery. So I'll change them over. I've got some new death grips that I'm going to try out, so I'll put them on and they can stay on the bike for the test. 35mm stem. Let's party. This thing looks cool. The paint, like, let's have a close look at this paint. Oh, it's a very, very well finished bike. It just looks killer. It's a shame. It would be a shame to scratch it or to mark it up. If you're buying one of these, definitely put some frame tape on it and protect your paint, because it looks so good. It looks real good. So let's see. Fork feels good. Rear shock feels good. The bike feels real supple, so, and nimble. It feels like an older style trail bike where they're real nimble and playful and just wicked fun to play. So we'll see how it goes. It's not I'm pretty sure it's a 65.5 degree head angle, maybe a 66 head angle, and it's got the reduced fork offset as well. So we'll see how that plays out on the trails. It feels pretty good on the street. I feel quite high up on the bike. It's quite a higher bottom bracket than these newer modern kind of long, low and slack style rigs. So it's definitely an all mountain trail play bike, I guess. But who knows? We'll see. Let's see how it shreds.